Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, CACRAO.org. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to our presenters.
Cool. Well, thanks so much. Welcome, y'all. I'm so excited to be here with y'all today. My name is Adam Shilawat. I am an admissions counselor at Mercer University, located in Macon, Georgia, and I am joined by Mr. Jordan Tang.
Hi, my name is Jordan Tang. I'm currently a senior biomedical engineering major, and I'm from Toccoa, Georgia.
So glad y'all guys are here with us joining today. Really what today is going to be about is just getting a little bit of information about Mercer. So we're going to go over brief history. We're going to go over what majors are available, what special programs we have. Keep in mind that as y'all have questions throughout the presentation, as Madeline said, feel free to drop it in the chat. We won't be addressing them during the presentations because luckily enough, if we're good enough, sometimes your questions might be answered during it, but we will address all questions at the end. So if you have anything you want to know about specific programs, campus life, research, service, what laptop should you bring to college? How many schools should you apply for? What is the application like? What's the application fee waiver code? These are all good questions to ask. So feel free to drop those in the chat throughout the presentation. At the end, we'll be sure to address all of them that we can get to. But now I'm going to go ahead and get started and talk a little bit about the campus that you're looking at right now, Mercer University. So a little bit of brief history. We were first founded in a small town called Penfield, Georgia in 1833. If you don't know where Penfield, Georgia is at, if you know where Athens, Georgia is at, we're about an hour and a half away from there. So we've been around since 1833, but our Macon campus, our traditional undergraduate campus, has been around since 1871. And so coming up on our 150th year anniversary, which is extremely exciting, in that amount of time that you are existing, there's a couple of distinctions that you might develop. So a couple of things to point out. First of all, we could go over all of these. It would take a little bit of time. I mean, we have a limited amount of time today. So I want to go over the top left one, best value. So out of all of these, Mercer has been consistently ranked as one of the best value schools in the nation. And you're kind of maybe thinking, well, best value, what does that really mean? It means three things. So there's three factors that go into determining a best value school. The first one is obviously the cost of attendance. When you're thinking value, money might come into play. Second is the quality of the education that you receive. And then third and lastly is the reputation of that degree once you graduate. So what that means is that people understand what Mercer is, who we are, and then once you graduate and have that on your resume, you have your degree, that has a weight that carries with it when you go to apply for these jobs. You have experiences to back you up. You have a lot of opportunities that you've been given throughout college that'll really benefit you in your job search process. So again, a lot of things to pick out here. If you'll notice at the very top left, you will see Jordan Tang featured in this presentation. And so when you're thinking of a best value degree, there's, like I said, amount of things to pick from. We have over 65 undergraduate majors ranging anywhere from the sciences to the STEM fields to a law school, medical school, nursing school, music. We're not only known for one thing. So if you don't really know what it is you want to study and you're kind of looking to explore a little bit, Mercer's a great opportunity for that. Undecided is actually our currently third most popular major that students have coming in. So don't feel like I have to have it all together before I go to college. I need to have a major declared or else I won't be successful. That's far from true. Mercer has the resources to help you be successful in whatever avenue you decide to do, not just with one program, but many. And so I want to go into the depth and breadth of these programs. We have a couple of signature offerings, a couple of things that Mercer is known for in particular. And the first one is going to be our 4+1 programs in business and engineering. If you want to do a bachelor's and a master's degree and do it a little bit quicker, Mercer is a great school for that. We have a 4+1 program in it, meaning that you get your bachelor's in the first 4, and then your master's program will get in that 1 year. So the +1 is how you get your master's degree. Usually these programs take around 2 years or so to get. You might be asking, well, saves me time. Does it also save me money? Yes, it does. So with the business program, the tuition is reduced by 30%. In engineering, it is reduced by 50%. So take it, half it. We also have special consideration programs and accelerated special consideration programs. These programs are really exactly how they sound. They are not us giving you a seat into the law school or handing you a spot in the medical school. We are giving you the opportunity to interview for these programs, but of course it's up to you as a student to earn your spot for them. The only difference between SCP, special consideration, ASCP, accelerated special consideration programs, is that typically with the accelerated programs, the amount of school you're in is reduced by a year. So for example, with our law and pharmacy school, it's a 3+3 program. So 3 years undergraduate school and then 3 years of law or pharmacy school. So kind of, inching ways off of that amount of school if that's something that you're interested in. A couple of other things, looking at the breadth of these programs, we have our Center for Collaborative Journalism. If any of you in this presentation have any interest in writing, journalism, media studies, broadcast, ESPN, live sports, the whole thing, this program is great for you. The reason is because students that are in our program for the CCJ, Center for Collaborative Journalism, they get up to 4 years of professional experience in the field of journalism by the time they graduate. So that means when they walk across the stage at graduation, they already have 4 years of professional experience in the journalism field. That is rivaling a journalist that's been out of college for 4 years. So it saves you time. You're getting valuable experience in the field of journalism. You're learning from people who are published authors, editors. They're still doing the thing. So they're getting to pass that wisdom and knowledge onto you to help you kind of grow in that area. And also, if you like music or you play music, or maybe you don't play music, but you like to listen to music, we have a McDuffie Center for Strings. This is a conservatory style strings ensemble program, very rigorous, comparable to programs like Juilliard or Rice University, typically around 26 total spots in the program overall. So a very limited program, but the students that are in it benefit from learning from musicians that are world-renowned, who have done the thing as well, have traveled, done concerts all over the place. And as students who maybe aren't interested in playing music, for these concerts that they do, you get into all of them for free with your Bear card. So if music is something you're interested in or would like to, dabble more into and learn more about in college, it's a great opportunity to learn and to see their concerts. And then lastly, we also have the MIC, the Mercer Innovation Center. This is for students that are interested in entrepreneurship, business. Maybe they have an idea for a business, they need office space, or they need maybe funding for it, they need some mentorship program, they need some help with this. This MIC location is a physical place on campus that helps our entrepreneurship, our business students get those ideas rolling and get that business started if that's something they're interested in doing. Dabbling onto a little bit of research, and Jordan can talk about this in a couple slides over, is there are a lot of opportunities for research here. This slide right here just shows you a couple of examples of the type of company that we keep. We are part of the Georgia Research Alliance, as well as the Phi Beta Kappa Honor Society. Basically, for the GRA, means you get special research incentives as a student going here. Phi Beta Kappa Honor Society, typically reserved for the top 10% of schools in the nation, and then the top 10% of students at that university. So very proud of what these things that students are doing. If you're getting a lot of opportunities, if you're giving these students opportunities to do research, there's going to be some results. And I want to go over a couple of those right now. So we have had 12 Goldwater scholars in the past 8 years and 21 Fulbright scholars in the past 10 years. You may be wondering, if you don't know, what are these? What do they do? The significance of them is very important. So the Goldwater Scholarship is the highest accredited STEM scholarship given at the undergraduate level. We've had 12 in the past 8. 3 of those 12 were actually this year. We were the only school in the entire nation to have 3 Goldwater scholars. And these students are doing incredible work. And some of them even have got the Goldwater Scholarship their sophomore year of college. Looking back on it, this means that they did the research to get this highest accredited STEM scholarship their freshman year of college. So 17, 18, 19-year-olds doing excellent research, getting nationally recognition for it, all because of their, the opportunities they've been given at the undergraduate level, the belief that the professors had in them, recognizing their potential, passing them on and recommending them for these scholarships. It definitely has paid off figuratively and literally for these students. We've also had 21 Fulbright scholars in the past 10 years. What the Fulbright Scholarship is typically reserved for senior year students who want to take an extra year of research or they want to teach English as a second language after they graduate. So kind of two different ways to go with it, but a lot of students are getting involved in this program as well, and we're really proud of them. So when you give them opportunities to succeed, they're going to take them for sure. Mercer is also heavily involved in service. So for any of you listening right now, if you already are volunteering, if you already are doing some service in your local community, or maybe you've done it before, or maybe you've never done it, and when you get to college, this is something that really interests you. You want to give back to the community that's giving to you. This is a great place to do it at. Mercer is heavily involved in service in the local Macon area, whether that's tutoring in local schools, cleaning up the streets, volunteering outside, really whatever the need is, we have a lot of programs for it, whether that's Be a Good Neighbor, Spring Break for Service, or an excellent program that combines research and service called Mercer on Mission. And so what this program does is, as my screen is not cooperating very well, is what it does is it combines research and service together and really helps out students do a real world need for it. And so I'll ask Jordan to go ahead and talk about his experience with Mercer on Mission, because he's involved in a lot of it. Jordan, could you kind of explain what Mercer on Mission is and then how students can get involved with it?
Of course. So Mercer on Mission is a program that we have here at Mercer that allows you to take what you learn in a classroom and apply it to the real world through service. So for me and I've gone to two engineering Mercer on Missions. My first one was my freshman year to South Korea, where we taught North Korean refugees English, robotics, 3D printing, 3D scanning. So we were there for 4 weeks, and we held English classes during the day and programming and 3D printing classes at night. And also through that Mercer on Mission, I was able to start my first research project. And we here at Mercer created the first 3D yearbook for the blind in the world. So we took a 3D technology, 3D scanning technology and printing technology, and applied it in a way where we could help the blind community. We started out in Macon, and now we've spread it across the United States through the use of a manual. And then my second Mercer on Mission, which was actually the Mercer on Mission that drew me to Mercer, was our Mercer on Mission to Vietnam, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner picture. So the main goal of that trip is to fit prosthetics for the Vietnamese people. We developed our very own prosthetic here at Mercer, and we've used it to fit over 13,000 amputees over in Vietnam, and all of them are for free for the Vietnamese people. They don't have to pay a penny for them. We give them the training, the medications, we give them free crutches and walkers to help them use these devices. So Mercer on Mission is a great way to take what you apply, what you learn in a classroom and apply it in the real world, or you can go on Mercer on Mission and take what you learn in the real world and apply it in the classroom. And the cost to attend the Mercer on Mission is relatively inexpensive. The most you'll pay is $3,000, and the only thing you're paying for is the 6 credit hours of classes you get. So you do get credit for going overseas and helping people. Everything else is covered by Mercer from the moment you take off from land to the moment you land. So your airfare, your hotels, your transportation, all your meals. The only thing you would have to cover is like souvenirs and different things like that, more personal items. But Mercer on Mission, that's a great way to take what you, to get real world experience.
You mean they don't pay for your souvenirs? Why not? But as Jordan has said, it's a really cool program, and there's a variety of different ones to choose from. Jordan has been on our biomedical trip to Vietnam how many times now?
I will be taking my second trip to Vietnam in December.
Wow. And so it doesn't only apply to students that are wanting to do biomedical engineering. We also have programs for other types of engineering. We've had business trips, we've had educational trips. Students that go on these trips do a large amount of different things. And the really cool thing is, yes, you're getting class credit, you're getting to travel, but as he said, you take what you learn from the real world and apply it to the classroom. You get something from this too, whether you think so or not. So Mercer on Mission is a really cool program. If you want to learn more about it, reach out to me. I'll actually be your admissions counselor. So reach out to me, ask me questions, and I'm happy to help. But incredible to get a student's perspective on this amazing program that's specific to Mercer. And I think that's really a good example of what your Mercer experience could look like. I mean, that's kind of the best way I can think of it is what you make of it. And so be involved, get involved on campus, try to experiment in things maybe you haven't done before, or maybe continue to do things that you're doing in high school, take that to college. And maybe if we don't have that club or organization, you can talk about it. And so obviously, to be successful in the classroom, you have to have somebody to teach you in the classroom. And so our faculty mentors, they're here to help you develop you into a leader. They're here to help you become a better person and learn more, not only about the subject, but about yourself and to challenge yourself. And so I also wanted to get Jordan's perspective on the faculty mentors. What is kind of your experience with it, and kind of what do you like about the faculty here, and how have they impacted your Mercer experience?
I believe the best way to actually meet your faculty advisors here at Mercer is because of the small class sizes. So the average class size is 22, so you're really have like that really low student to faculty ratio. And because of that, you have the opportunity to get to know your professors. They know you, they know your name. And the Mercer Missions does help with that greatly. So going to Mercer Mission in Korea, that professor in charge of that program is actually the advisor for 3 of my research projects. And the faculty advisor in charge of the Vietnam program is in charge of my 2 other research projects. So I was able to get on those research projects because when you spend 4.5 weeks with these professors overseas doing service work, you get to know them, they get to know you, and that's when that opens a lot of opportunities to get all of these research opportunities because they know how you work. Another thing about the small class sizes is that they know you. So I went to international high school, and one of my friends was over here from China, and he wasn't able to go home for Thanksgiving break. So one of his professors actually invited him over to her house for Thanksgiving lunch with her family because she knew that he wouldn't be able to go home, and she didn't want him to be alone. At a much larger school, professors don't know you to the extent of, oh, are you able to go home or not? So that's definitely one of the big advantages of going to a school with small class sizes.
Yeah. Would you say that, the smaller class sizes here also help you get involved in research if that's something that students want to do, or is that something that you've noticed?
I believe it is. I believe if I went to a larger school, I would just blend in with the numbers. Here at Mercer, you're not just a number. In all of your classes, no matter how big, how small, the professors will know you and they will know your work. We don't use Scantrons here very often, so they know definitely how your tests are going. They know if you miss class. The only bad thing is they can call on you by name in the class to answer a question.
Love it. Yeah, that's definitely part of, they want to help develop you into a person as a leader. And obviously, when y'all are thinking of going to college, of course, being in the classroom is important, but you also want to do things outside of the classroom. You want to get involved in clubs and organizations. You want to be a person too, not just a student. And so if D1 sports is something you want to get involved in, whether that's you want to play collegiate athletics, we are D1. We are the only private D1 school in the state of Georgia. It's your fun fact for the day. And we compete in the Southern Conference, except for our beach volleyball team. They play in the Atlantic Sun. But there's 18 men's and women's sports teams to choose from. As you can tell, they're all listed here. So definitely with athletics, we have a lot of school spirit with it. I am currently in a building, and every time I look out the window as a student passes by, there is orange. So that's a good place. That is our color, by the way. And so getting to, hear these students' experiences, getting to see their involvement, getting to cheer your friends on while you're going to these athletic events for free is something that's really cool. But, if you don't want to do athletics, if you're not too interested in going to all the sports games, or you are, but you want to do more than just that, we also have over 140 clubs and organizations here on campus, whether that is fraternity sorority programs, service organizations, interest-based, faith-based, club sports, the whole 9 yards. Jordan, is there any kind of involvement you have on campus or anything that you could recommend for students that is involved, campus life, what clubs and organizations are there? Could you kind of touch on a little bit of those things as well?
Of course. So there, as Adam said, there's a multitude of clubs that range from faith-based to academic-based. But I guess the main thing is if you find that there's not a club that suits your suits your interests or your I'm blanking on the word for your passion, you can always create a club. So going back to my first research project with the 3D printed yearbooks, I actually created a club last year that was designed to help bring in more students from around the campus get involved in that. Previously, it was mainly engineers who had heard about it and knew how to get involved. So this club was meant to draw more people in. So I was able to go to our Student Government Association, get approval, get funding, and actually start a club and have campus-wide emails, everything like that, to get more people involved in making these yearbooks. So I've always loved having that extracurricular activities. It helps you de-stress. One advice I was told is choose 3 different types of clubs. Choose one faith-based, choose one academic-based, and choose one that you think you'll have fun in. Just start off with those 3, and if you have time for more, add on as many as you like. So that's kind of a good rule to figure out if you're worried about getting too involved too soon and not having enough time.
Yeah. And one cool thing about our fraternity and sorority programs in particular, we have around 20 of them. And what they do is they do delayed recruitment. We know that freshmen coming into college, you have a lot on your plate anyways. You have to get adapted to school. And so as Jordan's saying, definitely try to get involved in whatever way you find fit for yourself, whether that's something faith-based if you're religious, whether that's special interest-based if you want to try something new or that you already have something. Athletics are fun if you want to continue that, not at the D1 level, but definitely try to get involved somewhere, somehow. But try not to do everything all at the same time. Allow yourself to get adapted to college at whatever school you decide to go to. It's important to, give yourself a couple weeks to get adapted, to settle in. And that's why I think our fraternity sorority programs are so cool, is because they give you a couple weeks, 3 weeks or so to settle in, to get used to it. And they have that delayed recruitment. So if Greek life is important to you, but you don't want to make that decision from week 1, if you want to do it, we have the amount of time to give kind of you the decision-making time to think, is this for me or is this not? Do I want to put this on my plate, or is this something maybe I should wait later to do? So definitely a lot of organizations and clubs here to pick from. As Jordan said, if you want to start one, you have the power to do so. Your voice is heard on campus, and definitely would like to see that in whatever college you go to, finding your place. And then I guess it's important too to find out what you're going to do after you graduate. What kind of career opportunities are there? What is this benefit of this best value degree that Adam's talking about? We want to pay you back for that investment you're making into your future. College is an investment, whether you think so or not. It is a financial investment. It's also a personal investment. You're growing internally, and you're wanting to, wherever you're going, to benefit you when you go out to do that job search. You want to have that impact on your resume when you're doing these interviews. So Mercer is definitely a place for that. We have a lot of outcomes for our students from here. There's just a couple of listed here. If we put them all on here, we would be here for a couple more slides. So we wanted to point out some of the big ones as well. So obviously we have some big ones and small ones here. NASA is huge, Coca-Cola, Google, Chick-fil-A, Condé Nast. It's a variety of different places our students are going. They're being successful in a lot of different places. And so definitely there's a lot of opportunities for students that graduate. As of right now, 91% of students that graduate from Mercer within 6 months are either in graduate school or have a job. So a good and hefty amount of them are getting that investment paid off. And actually, if you're looking to do engineering, it is 100%. So all of them. So fantastic. These Mercerians are great students. And if you think, well, this kind of sounds like something I could buy into. I'm interested in Mercer. If you are a senior, step 1 is apply. And step 1 in your process, really looking into it, is going to be applying. Also, we'd love for you to visit campus. We are offering campus visits throughout the week, Monday through Friday. If you go to mercer.edu, or the website I'll show you at the end of the presentation, you can find out how to get to campus. But obviously, if you're looking to come to campus, you might want to apply as well if you're a senior. So looking at the timeline, there's a couple of things to take note of. Our application is currently open right now. It opened up on August 1st. It closes way later on. So these deadlines that you're seeing right here, these are not when the application closes. These are just some checkpoints throughout the year. So November 15th is our early action deadline. We're an early action school, not early decision. What that means is if you get accepted to Mercer, you do not have to come. You have the option. November 15th is just the first of deadlines to come. February 1st is the next deadline. So if you miss something, you didn't get everything in by that 15th of November deadline, we understand. You have until February 1st for the next one. And then afterwards, we move into rolling admission. So Any student that gets everything in by the 15th of November, ideally you get your decision by mid to late December. And when we look at your application, we take a holistic approach. So we don't only look at the quantitative things about you. We're not only looking at your GPA or your test score if you send them in. We are going test optional for the next 3 years. So you have the option to submit your SAT or ACTs. If you do, we'll super score them. So send one, send all. And so that holistic application review consists of your application itself. We need that, it's an important part. Within that application, we'll read through your activities and distinctions. We'll read through your personal statements. So really look to fill those out to the brim and let us get to know you as a person, not just you as an applicant. We want to know you. What are you involved in? Do you have a job? Do you take care of your family? Are you part of like 30 clubs and organizations? Do you have all these awards? Are you an athlete? Do you have a part-time job? Put all of this on your application. It is going to benefit you, I promise. Your official transcripts, obviously we need to know that you're in high school, you're planning to graduate high school. We need to see your up-to-date transcripts from that high school. So obviously 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, in progress 12th grade. So obviously you're gonna be applying senior year. We also need at least one letter of recommendation. So we only need one, we'll take up to 3. So you're welcome to send those in. Again, that helps look at you holistically. So think of it like a character reference. So that's what a holistic review looks like for us. Every college might be doing it a little differently. So I encourage y'all to reach out to your counselors at these colleges to kind of get some clarification on what that is. But the average student that applies to Mercer, notice I'm saying average, meaning these numbers you're looking at right here, we take students from above the range as well as below it. So that does not mean that if you send in something lower than this, we won't take you. We won't look at it. We will not even consider it. No, that's not true. We take students from above the range and below the range. So this is a great gauge to see, is test optional best for me, or should I apply with test scores? Just overall kind of trying to find, again, your best fit. Obviously, looking at the numbers, we want to talk about financial aid with you. As counselors, we are trained in financial aid. So if you have specific questions about what financial aid opportunities are available, what specific things, reach out to us. We're happy to help with it. We have a couple of different types to go over with you. We have merit-based awards. The moment you submit your application to Mercer, whether that is through the common application or through our Mercer application, we have both. We don't have a preference on which you use. We also don't have a preference on if you apply test scores or test optional. You will not be looked at differently. You would just be looked at with that specific application criteria, and same with scholarships. So merit-based awards come from your application. Over 90% of our students that come here do receive scholarships. So if you apply to Mercer, you're accepted. It's a fairly good chance you're going to get a scholarship. And those merit-based awards range up to $22,000 a year, and they are renewable for up to 4 years. So the entire time you're here. We also have talent-based awards. So think of student athletes, students involved in the arts. So maybe a student that is in our McDuffie Center for Strings, or who is a student athlete football player. They would maybe be on a talent-based scholarship. If you're eligible to fill out the FAFSA, we offer need-based aid from that. So think of Pell Grant, SEOG grant, things like your federal direct loans, all of those, we are able to take those as well. We also accept outside scholarships and offer military benefits. So if you have any of those, or if you're a dependent of the military or you have military benefits, let us know. That way we can get you connected with our VA rep. And we also have a couple of scholarship competitions. So the top 3 are going to be major specific. So the area in which you're looking to study. So for the top 3, we have engineering scholarship competitions, business, media changemaker is journalism, media studies, communication studies. So think of students who are involved in or want to do the Center for Collaborative Journalism, the CCJ. This program would be for you if you want to study journalism, media studies, communication studies. There's a scholarship competition for you. So those 3 at the top, they are not invite only. If you are looking to study this, you automatically qualify. For any of you that are listening right now that might be looking to do engineering, this competition typically happens in November. So go ahead and mark it on your calendars. Reach out to me if you have any questions about it. For business and media changemakers, it's typically in February. The bottom 3, presidential, stamps, and heritage, these are all things that are contingent upon 1, the early action deadline or the regular decision deadline of February 1 or November 15th for early action. And then also being in the top % of applicants from that group. So if you qualify in the top % of applicants that we have for this year, you may be invited out to Presidential Scholars Weekend or Stamp Scholars Program if you apply by the early action deadline of November 15th. And what I mean by apply is submit your application and have all of your materials in. So that doesn't mean just submit your application, send everything in a month later. That means have everything in. We need your transcripts. We'll need your scores if you're sending them in. We'll need your letters of recommendation, all by that November 15th deadline. Rinse and repeat for Heritage Scholars Day on February 1st. If you're still in that top % of applicants in that pool and you get everything in by February 1st, you may be invited out to that scholarship competition. And all of these scholarship competitions here listed are ways to increase your academic merit scholarship. What I mean by increase is that whatever you get, if you come to these events and you earn one, it does not stack on top of your academic merit scholarship, it replaces it. So you're only gonna go up, don't worry. And we do offer, if you're involved in more than one, so maybe you're an engineering student, but you're also in the top 10% of applicants and you get invited out to presidential or heritage. Come to one, come to all. Be sure to maximize your opportunities for scholarships with these opportunities at these schools, because it's really gonna affect your college search process. And there's a lot of different things that go into it. So I know that this year, for you seniors in the chat, might be looking a little weird, it might be a little confusing. And so I wanted y'all to keep in touch with us. So check us out on our website, check us out on our Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. These are our social medias. Feel free to grab a picture of it. If you're looking at it right now, take a picture of it on your phone. These websites, these social medias have a large amount of helpful information on it. So we want to connect with you. We want to be able to break down those barriers of confusion. Maybe you have some questions and concerns. Be sure to check us out. Be in touch with us on social media. This helps keep in touch with you about, registering for visitation events. Like I said, Monday through Friday, and on some weekends, we have some campus visit opportunities. So be sure to check those out. There's a lot of different ways to get to campus. And if you need anything specific, let's say you want to get connected with a student. Maybe you want to do biomedical engineering and Jordan sounds like a super cool person to talk to. Let me know, and if he's available, I'd love to get him in touch with you. If there's another major you're looking into and you want to know more about it. So maybe, well, I want to do psychology, but I really want to talk to a professor first before I commit to Mercer Go. Let me know. We want to get you connected. We want to get you the resources you need to make the best decision for yourself. And maybe that best decision might not be Mercer. That's okay. We understand that our jobs as admissions professionals are to help you find your best fit. It's not to yank you into coming to our school and say, no, come here. This is what's best for you, I promise. My personal job is to help you. And so if you want to learn more about our programs, if you want to get connected with me one-on-one or with a student or with a professor, let me know. Once I go ahead and drop out of this presentation, I'll also show you my contact information. So right here, you have my name, you have my title. This is my office number and my cell phone number. It also has a little bit of fun facts about me. Yes, I like cats. If that affects our admissions relationship, I'm sorry. But be sure to get in touch with me. Let me know if you have any questions. This website that you're seeing right here, if you need to go find us, it's undergrad.mercer.edu/find-your-counselor, or you could just go to our admissions website, mercer.edu, type in admissions counselor, or type in my name, and you'll be able to see all of my contact information there. So I hope this presentation has been helpful. Thank y'all so much for being so attentive. Please, if you have any questions, go ahead and start dropping them in the chat. I don't see any coming in yet, but we'd love to have y'all have some questions. If it's anything about dual enrollment, AP classes, IB classes, campus life. If you have any questions for Jordan, we're welcome to tag team those as well. If you want to know about a specific intramural sport, if you want to know anything, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'll give it a couple minutes to come up, and then I'll leave this contact information here. Be sure to take a picture of it if you need it. That way you know how to get in touch with me. So I'll go ahead and give y'all a couple seconds to breathe, exhale, think of any questions you might have, and go ahead and drop them in the chat. If not, you're welcome to go ahead and pop out. That is all the information we have for you today. So I will go ahead and see just for a couple seconds if anybody drops anything in the chat. And if not, I'm trying to think of any questions that I might have had for my admissions counselor or a student that is coming here. Let's see. Is there anything that I wanted to know? I definitely should have asked more about financial aid. So whenever springtime typically comes around, this is where financial aid becomes really important because you're looking to narrow down your search process. So that's definitely a factor that's going to play into it. If you have questions about your scholarship, what does it mean? We actually have one-on-one conversations with students about their financial aid estimates, what it means, why you have this scholarship, how to keep your scholarship, and then how to anything else with it. So how to pay off your balance, payment plans, things like that. Other things, as y'all are looking to narrow down your college search, there's a couple of factors to take into account. One is if you're looking at a lot of schools still, be sure to check out and see, well, okay, I'm looking at a lot of different schools. What are some things that are important to me? What are some things that I'm looking at or that kind of are, I guess, a little bit out there? So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. That way I can go ahead and pull up some questions. Good question. What would be your best advice for someone when looking at colleges? Great question. So my personal advice is, and Jordan, you're welcome to turn your camera on if you need to help me tag team on this question. My personal advice as a counselor is don't only look at places that you feel are, 5 minutes away from your house or that are within your comfort zone. Stretch out. Look at something that maybe this school has my major, but it's a couple hours away. But maybe that school that's a little further away might be a much better investment than something that's a little closer to home. And also my second advice is don't only go where your friends are going. There are a lot of good places to choose from. Jordan, what is your take on this?
I would say as I was a senior in high school, I was only looking at the name of the school, looking at the not say much the prestige, but the names you always hear. So in high school, I was convinced I was going to an Ivy League. I applied to every single Ivy League. The only school I did not apply to that was non-Ivy League was West Point and Mercer. So the reason why I thought Mercer was up in there is because I knew about the Mercer Mission program. And I knew that I could get the hands-on experience. And I toured all of the schools that I applied to. And figuring, coming here, looking at Mercer, seeing what they offered me, I eventually settled on Mercer. And looking back at that, my parents knew Mercer was a place for me. Of course, all parents know best. And so just looking back at it, I wouldn't have the same opportunities. I wouldn't be doing 5 research projects. I wouldn't have over 600 hours in the prosthetics lab, 400 of those are which I'm actually fitting patients. And so my career goal is pediatric prosthetics. So I already fit my first pediatric patient as a junior in college. I didn't have to wait to get into the job field. And so now I know exactly what I want to do the rest of my life. And if I had went to one of those schools based only on the name, I wouldn't be able to do that.
That's definitely a lot of opportunities. We had another question pop up too. I'm a junior at an early college. What would your advice be for someone who doesn't know exactly what they want to do? It's a very good question. One thing I found out that is really kind of helped me figure out what I wanted to do was, one, look at what are you already good at? So academically, where do you excel? That's a good place to start. So thinking, okay, well, maybe I don't know what I want to do, but what am I good at? What are some things that I've already, or maybe what you're involved in? So looking at what you're good at and then look at what you're already doing. Are you involved in sports? Are you involved in a club or organization that really just makes you feel good about yourself, gives you a sense of accomplishment? And maybe if you're not, try joining a couple of things. Volunteering, service, clubs and organizations. These are actually good and free ways to find out things that you really like to do. And so whenever I was in college, because I started a little late in the college search process, I think I started college when I got to college looking for college. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was kind of like, well, I don't really know what I like to do. And so I kind of looked internally. I was like, well, what do I like to do? I like helping people. I like to volunteer in college. I like, making an impact. And so what I decided was I didn't really know what profession I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to help people in whatever that was. And so taking that a little deeper, if you know you want to help people or you like doing this or you like doing something creative, maybe find your niche specifically in it. So I like to help people and I also like science. I want to maybe go into the medical field and help people, or I like art and I love doing graphics. I want to do graphic design for a business company. So definitely look at what you're good at and then what opportunities there are with that. Jordan, what's your take on it?
I would say definitely what you're good at right now and also what you enjoy, because you might enjoy something you're not good at, but if you enjoy it, then you'll be more open to working for it, you're being more open to studying more for it, going to professors and things like that. So you don't necessarily have to be good at something in order to really like doing it. So say you are thinking about going to med school, you enjoy biology, chemistry, you enjoy the puzzles of chemistry, putting things together, but you're not necessarily good at it. As long as you have that drive for it, that passion for it, professors will always be here to help you. They always have office hours. We have our academic resource center with student tutors, with professors as tutors, all for free. So there are ways of developing the skills that you don't have, but you enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. That's a really good question, because that was something I should have asked a lot earlier on to myself, but it's good that you have that question now. So great question from a student. So glad to have a lot of representation here, seeing that there's juniors, maybe some seniors. It's so awesome that y'all are starting your college search so early on. If there's any other questions, we'll sit tight for a couple more minutes, because y'all are firing in some pretty good ones that kind of look internally. But yeah, it's the college search, I know it looks a little weird this year, and you know, maybe you're used to attending things like these in person. So don't let your head down. I know that Zoom fatigue might be real. It's hard, but we're here for you as resources. We want to help you as counselors, and though maybe we're not able to meet in person as much as we usually can, y'all are always welcome to, you know, come visit campus here. If you have any questions, if you want to meet with us one-on-one, we're happy to accommodate that. So be sure to reach out to us as counselors if you want to visit campus, if you want to put your feet on the ground, get connected with somebody while you're here, let us know, because obviously visiting is a big part of the college search and also a big part of the decision making. So if there's any concerns y'all have about your college search, or you want to know more about Mercer, please feel free to reach out to us. I don't see any other questions coming up in the chat at the time being, but you'll have my contact information. I will share it once again for anybody who might need it just last minute and wants to take a picture. This is me, my contact information, cell phone, text message, email. I have no preference on how you communicate with me. If you want to send me a phone call, if you want to send me a text message, that's fine. If you text me at 1 a.m., I'm sorry if I don't reply immediately. I will text you back the next day. So, but feel free to send that. If you want to send it late, that's totally fine. I might not get to it, but at least I'll have it. So reach out to me. We hope that this presentation has been helpful. We hope that this is the first of conversations we'll have with you. And thank y'all so much, and go Bears.
All right, well, like Adam said, thank you all for joining us today. When you close this window, there will be a very quick link to a 4-question survey, and we'd really appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at CACRAO.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as any other sessions recordings at the same website, CACRAO.org. Thank you very much and have a great day.